Hey, what's up? It's Chris, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make the absolute best burger that you possibly can. I'm also going to be having a burger contest to see who can make the best burger. I'm also going to have my family members judge to see who made the best burger because, my family is hungry and it's Labor Day, so yeah, why not? Anyway, let's get started. So first we're going to start off with the buns. And the reason why we're going to start off with the buns is because you need to let them rest and ferment overnight to really develop that flavor. Because, the fermentation is where the flavor is at when it comes to bread. So for the buns, we're going to need flour, petite gold potatoes, eggs, milk, Greek yogurt, brown sugar, pistachios, peanut butter, baking soda, salt, and yeast. So we're going to want to start off by boiling about 2 water bottles worth of water. And then we're going to plop in about half a bag of a 1 pound 8 ounce bag like the one that I'm using. Now I've heard potatoes described as being gross and starchy raw. These are gourmet potatoes, so let's see if they're good. Not as bad as I thought. I could definitely eat this raw. I wouldn't necessarily want to though. Definitely a lot better boiled. Or steamed or baked. Yeah, baked. Or really anything else that you could do with a potato. I'm not full on Irish or Russian, so eating raw potatoes isn't really my thing. So now you're gonna want to add about 2 eggs. Can't leave that protein just laying there. I forgot, you also want to get your yeast activated. Or you can use some sort of yeast starter, like, sourdough starter or brioche starter, or whatever you can find in between your mom's legs. And so yeah, we're going to put 1 tablespoon of yeast, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and some warm water if I can figure out which way gives me warm water. 1/4 cup of water. So yeah, just stir this around, make sure the sugar gets nice and dissolved. The reason why we want to dissolve the sugar is so the yeast has something to eat once it's getting activated. So you wake up in the morning and you want something to eat, you gotta get yourself going, maybe drink some coffee. It's kind of like that. Except, the yeast is more like an astronaut or Master Chief getting taken out of being cryogenically frozen for like 600 years, and then all you're really craving is some coffee, just to get you going. It's kind of like that. I wonder what that liquid is. I should look that up. We're gonna want to add about 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. This is to give it that, Greek yogurt culture, so it can get a more sour, stronger taste. That's actually not enough. 4 tablespoons about of Greek yogurt. Oh, plain, unsweetened, traditional Greek yogurt. Okay? You don't want that strawberry whatever, or the non-fat stuff. You want the fat in there, okay? That fat is going to help give the bread, a better texture. You don't want it to be too dry. I guess fabricy would be the word. Now, for the peanut butter. We're going to put about however much peanut butter is in this container. That's going to be about 2 level tablespoons. And the reason why we're putting peanut butter in here is to give it a nutty kind of flavor. That's why we're also going to be putting... Would I say nuts or cashews? Yeah, they're cashews. Because if I said nuts, I meant cashews. It's pretty late and I don't want to go to bed, so I'm not going to refilm stuff right now. That's about 3 right here. So right now we're at 4 tablespoons about. Yeah, this thing is clean. Yeah, I know, that's what my girlfriend said. Oh, tastes like nuts and yeast. I might need this again, so I'm just going to put this over here. Don't want to keep washing every single dish in my house. These should be about done. Every last bit of yeast out of here. You can use your finger to scoop out that yeast. So now we're going to want to add 2 cups of flour. Now most of the liquid and the moisture that you're getting in this bread should be coming from milk. It's like how I like to make pita bread. So I'm going to use about 1.5 cups of milk. Now let's see if those potatoes are done. Yeah, no, I don't think I want to knead this into dough with my hands, so I would say not. Oh, who put spices in the fridge? But anyway, the potatoes are still boiling, so we're going to move on to try to make the meat. So I've got 2 pounds of meat, so you're going to want to take all these measurements and scale them up or scale them down or keep them the same depending on how much meat you have. As far as your spices, you're going to want to use 1/4 cup of ground cumin, about 1/4 cup of ground paprika, 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon of ancho peppers. I'm gonna need to look up how it's pronounced. Definitely got in my nose there. About 2 tablespoons of ground coriander, and then 1 tablespoon of black pepper. You have to get it uncrushed though, because by having it intact, it helps preserve the flavor. But I did hear that you are supposed to roast your seasonings beforehand, but I think they can get roasted enough just, being grilled. So we're gonna want 3 tablespoons of ground black pepper. Now this ground beef got everywhere. It's here, it's probably on the floor, in my hair, on the ceiling. Who knows? You want your grinder on a finer setting, so there's more aromatics, because having your seasonings of finer powder means that it can get into the air more and go into your nose more, which means that you're going to smell it more. Now for the salt. We're going to want about 3 tablespoons of salt as well. Actually make that 4 tablespoons of salt. 1 more teaspoon of ground cumin, because we want the cumin to be the teaspoons of ground cumin, because we want the cumin to be the primary scent in the burger. Okay, now this is the best part, my personal favorite part, because I get to put my hands all up on some meat. So just get your hands, make sure that they're clean, and just get them deep in there in that meat. Just stir it around. Well, the reason why we're mixing this the night before is so all the flavors and all the seasonings come together and combine into more of a cohesive flavor, as opposed to just, like, I went to Red Lobster tonight for dinner with my family, because it's Memorial Day, or it's not Memorial Day, it's the night before Memorial Day, and I tried some of the Cahoon sauce, or no, not Cahoon, some of the Cajun sauce, and I was able to really easily differentiate the different flavors. I'm pretty sure it was like oregano, garlic. I was able to really easily differentiate between it all. And what you want to do is you want to make it so, you know, it all combines together into one unique flavor. You know? Oh yeah, I actually do have a cut. Oh no. Extra iron. Now let me go flex the scent of this amazing meat on my opponent. Yeah, how's it smell?
Better.
Dad, do you have coronavirus? Not time to go back and check on our bread. But we do make sure to cover this in tinfoil and put it in the fridge. Don't leave this out overnight. I'm a little bit few shades more racist now. So now that the potatoes are done, by the way, you can tell that they're done if you can just pick them up and easily mash them with your hands. So now I'm just going to use the lid. I'm just going to drain out the water and then just drain it out like that. I'm going to plop it straight into my bread mix. By the way, in order to make this cool down faster, I actually drained it and then I filled it back again with room temperature water from the sink just to try and make these things cool down faster. So I added an additional 1 2/3 cup of flour, and I added about 3 to 5 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. The reason why I did that is to give the bread, well, first of all I added the flour to make it not a goo, and second of all I added the extra virgin olive oil to give it a more moist, softer texture to it, so it's, you know, squishier and just more moist. Another 1/3 cup of flour. But yeah, I'm not gonna fully knead this out and stuff just yet into the balls. I'm gonna let all of this ferment together at once in the fridge overnight. Why am I doing that? Well, it's late, I want to go to bed, and I mean, there's no real benefit to rolling it all out and letting it ferment in the individual balls. Okay, so now I'm gonna cover it with tinfoil, not saran wrap, because from my experience, it's just a lot easier and it keeps it fresher. Yeah, I'm gonna cover this bowl in tinfoil, and then I'm gonna let it ferment in the fridge overnight. Right now it's currently midnight, and this is gonna ferment till about 1 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, so I decided to do something a little bit different with the buns. So what you want to do is you want to make these pretty flat. You know, you want them to be about 1/4 of an inch thick, maybe. What I like to do is flatten them out and then pulling them out, and then you set them flat on the surface and you pat them down. And then you want to pat them out until they're a little bit wider than you actually want. So then you can go in and press the sides to actually get it to have the round shape that you want. Again, you always want to generously flour your work surface, and then you just press the sides in to give it the round shape that you want. Now we're going to make our bun blade, and for that we're going to need 2 ingredients: an egg and salt. So you don't want, this thing cracked there, you only want the egg yolk. Now you're going to want to add a very generous amount of salt. So you're just going to want to mix that up. Now one last step, we're going to crush up a bunch of cashews, and then we're going to press these into the buns. You're going to want to put the nuts on last, because if you try and spread the egg on it, then it's not going to go very well. The yolk is surprisingly viscous, and trying to spread the egg yolk around, it's going to pull off the cashews and spread them around. You gotta get some B-roll up in here. So now we're gonna add the last few things to our hamburger mix. So we're just gonna finely dice this onion. Now we're gonna lightly saute the onions. We're gonna cook them about halfway or a little bit more than halfway to caramelization. So our onions are done. We're gonna want to now add them to our meat. The reason why we're not fully caramelizing onions is because they're gonna finish caramelizing when they're grilled. Now we're going to make relatively thin patties. The reason why is because we're going to use two per burger. The reason why we're going to do that is to increase the surface area as much as possible to try and have as much mired reaction as possible. To make the burger as crispy as possible. Because that crisp is really where it's at. My family's pretty hungry, so I had someone else help me with this. That's why there's no footage of it. But I also diced up and partially cooked some bacon, just enough to where it's technically edible. And the reason why is because it's going to finish cooking when it's cooked. I also had someone dice up some serranos, and what I'm doing is I'm just pressing in the serranos and the bacon directly into the patty. You could also just put this into the mix beforehand. 2 patties equals 1 burger. So now you're going to want to melt 2/3 a stick of butter. Now you're going to want to grate this into your butter. I used about 5 cloves of garlic. Now we're just going to let that heat up. In the meantime, you're going to want to add about 1 tablespoon of yellow mustard. Now a little bit of salt, not that much. Now you're going to want to mix vigorously. Right now this is what it looks like. We're making mayo, so you're going to want to add a little bit. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add about 3 tablespoons.
How was it? That was one of mine.
It was good, man. Really good.
All right, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are we at?
I give it a 10, man.
10?
Now we're going to want to add some of our garlic butter, not all of it. Now a touch of salt, not too much. A little bit of our egg and garlic butter mustard mixture. Now that's the consistency like, I honestly don't know what to compare that to. We're going to put it on our buns. We're going to put our nice thick buns. And we want to put this only on the bottom bun. We're going to want to add bacon bits. Good amount of it. Now, we're going to take this over to a griddle and we're going to toast these. This side down. If you want them to cook faster, you can also move them around like this because they're absorbing the heat from the griddle, which is going to cool down the griddle. Look at that. Look at that sizzle. Now, the reason why we're only going to be putting the garlic butter on...
I can only see your eyes.
Okay, so
I mean, like from here to... Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this is like from here. Like cut up.
Okay, so the reason why we're only going to be putting the garlic butter on the bottom bun is because the top bun is going to get the sweetness. This is honey, raw honey. Don't get that weird corn syrup stuff that you buy at the store. Get real honey that will actually crystallize if you leave it out. You see that? Real honey right here. Real honey.
Oh, can we get one without honey?
No. So, the burgers didn't stay together very well, as you can see. Right now it's like chunky ground beef. So, if anything, it's better because it's more pre-masticated, you know? Easier to digest, you know, easier to eat, you know? You gotta look at the upside of everything. But anyway, I'm just gonna heat up all the pieces. Now, it's time for the feta cheese. This stuff right here, this is where it's at. This is where the flavor is. So, we're gonna build these burgers from the bottom up. So, we got 2 bottoms. On the very bottom, we're gonna put the meat. So, yeah, we're gonna use this comically oversized spatula right here.
So good. Just one part of here. How about like extra salt?
So we put a little bit of the meat, and then we put the feta cheese. And what we want to happen is we want the feta cheese to melt. Now we put the meat, and then we put a nice slice of actually first cheddar. It's very important the way that you layer your ingredients. The reason why is because you're gonna actually taste them in a different order. Let's say you have sour, then you have sweet, then you have your saltiness. You're gonna taste them in that order. Right now we have beefy saltiness, and we have the sourness of the feta. And we have more beefy saltiness, and that's gonna be complemented with the cheddar. And then that's gonna be changed again back to sourness with the Munster. But we're also gonna want want to use romaine lettuce. And I'm using little pickles to make some relish. You want the bottom part of the romaine lettuce to give it that crisp. I agree. 2 slices of tomato, some relish, and most importantly, this is where all the flavor comes. Banana. Well, I feel like I gotta mention, each burger is a straight up meal. Relish.
Mommy's birthday is on the 14th, February 14th.
Then the banana peppers. Then the mustard.
It was like March 10th.
Let's try it.
Ahora, por teléfono, no, que se vayan. No quiero.
Alright, let's see how the judges like it. We have 2 judges. We have Michael.
Cut it into.
We have
like
her.
3 parts.
No, just take a bite. Just take bites.
I need a plate underneath me. Can I have a plate? No.
Okay.
You know
yeah,
what she eats, it's gonna explode all over the place.
Smells fresh.
That whole thing about all of one soup. Really? I'm seeing it. So good.
2 thumbs up. I taste the honey and the nuts, and I like the crunchiness that I get from the nuts as I'm chewing my burger. Pretty good.
How would you compare it to Dad? Since you're one of the judges, this is relative to Dad as well.
The beef turned out a little bit salty, but I give it a 9. Also. Oh, Michael next. Yeah?
Unhinge your jaw like a snake.
Bite and feels the taste.
The flavor of the bread is good, really good.
Very delicious.
It's good. I like the sweetness of it. The sweet goes good. It's almost like a relish. I would say this is the most unique hamburger I've ever had, and I would give you I would say a 10 just because of the uniqueness, and the flavor is good as well.
Thank you. Also, my contestant over here, he got a 9 from you, right?
I can confirm that. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try Chris's burger here.
Yeah.
Looks amazing.
Oh, again,
Can't wait to try it out.
Pumpkin. Hearts. We just need it.
Wow, that is amazing. You really outdid yourself with this one. Really delicious. You distinguish the flavors on it. Crunchiness is on point. Highly recommended. Thank you for the opportunity, man.
What'd you rate it from 0 to 10?
I'd give it a 10 out of 10, man. Deliciousness.
And what'd you rate the competitor's burger?
It was up there, but then I tried this one, man. So I'm gonna have to go give one 8. Good job, man. Good job.
Okay, so this is my burger, and you've had my competitor's burger as well. Really processing the flavors, right? That was a very complex burger. I would describe my burger as being like the English language, or a transmission on a vehicle, or women, you know, all very complex, difficult, obnoxious.
Yeah, it's definitely different.
Different.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like they had so many different stuff. The patty was spicy for sure, and there's nuts in here.
Yeah.
And there was something sweet too. I was trying to put my finger on it, but I couldn't.
It's honey. The honey's on the top bun. The reason it's on the top bun is, oh, it's not in it. It was like smeared on.
Peanut butter?
Yeah, I put peanut butter in the dough.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I feel like there's something else in here. I can't put my finger on. Oh, that's better cheese. That's what it was. I think that I couldn't put my finger on.
Is it like a bit of a foot smell?
No, it's kind of good creamy taste. It was a taste. Did you put peppers?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Are the peppers creamy?
Jack.
No. So did you like it?
I thought you said you were full.
Oh yeah, I am full. Yeah, it's good.
So, how would you rate it?
An 8.
How would you rate my competitor's burger?
An 8. But to be fair, yours is cold. And maybe if I would have had it when it was warm.
The temperature made a big difference.
I think so.
So, with this being at a disadvantage, it got at least as good as this.
Yeah.
That's good. For a second there, I was a little bit worried you're going to be like a 2.
Oh no, it had a lot of flavors and stuff. So.
Honestly?
Honestly.
I gave yours an 8 and his an 8.
Oh, come on.
But again, I had his when it was cold.
You can reheat it if you want. Microwave.
I had to get that one because I don't like mustard. And
That's all Andy.
So in conclusion, it was a really good burger, but I did make a few mistakes. First of all, I accidentally put too much salt in the burger, so just reduce the amount of salt by about this much. Second of all, I accidentally forgot to cook the patties on the flat grill or on a skillet. So, Yeah, definitely remember to do that. Maybe I added a little too much cumin, so also maybe reduce the amount by this much. And yeah, that's basically it. It's a really good burger, honestly. It's just a little bit too salty. That's honestly really my only complaint about it. So if you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out the bloopers at the end of the video. I confess to being a wife beater. Also leave a comment. If I hearted it, that means I read it all the way through. Anyway, new videos coming out soon, so see y'all later. Do you want to learn how to make this amazing burger? Absolute masterpiece of a burger right here. This culinary perfection. I didn't think this through very well. Of black pepper.